Not all criticism is created equal. Sometimes people say things and it needs to be dismissed, and sometimes people say things and it really needs to be honored. Here's how you tell the difference. My name is Kasim. I've built 6 million and multi-million-dollar businesses. I've had 2 exits, 1 for 8 figures. I've generated a $10,000,000 net worth, and my goal in life is to help you achieve 3x freedom. Recently had an experience that I hope I get reminded of often. I turned 40, and on my 40th birthday, I decided to launch something that I've been wanting to launch for a long time. It's an incubator. It's a community. I call it 3x freedom. And what's funny about it is I published the sales page at night and I went to bed almost immediately. So I published the sales page and I put my heart and soul into it. And it was like one of the most vulnerable things I've ever done as an entrepreneur. I usually don't worry that much, to be frank, about publishing or shipping because I've gotten so good at, failing forward and iterating, and failure is just data. But this one, for whatever reason, it really meant a lot. And right before I went to bed, the first comment hit, and it was so mean. It was caustic and dismissive, and it made me feel stupid and small and silly. And I know the answer there is you shouldn't let other, random people on the internet make you feel those ways. And okay, thank you, Dr. Phil. And that's how I felt, especially because it was the first one. I get bad comments, all the mean comments all the time, but it's usually kind of averaged out among people that are saying maybe nicer things. And this person was the very first one to comment, and I was already so insecure because I didn't know how this was going to land. And so it was absolutely devastating. I was tempted to take the page down. If you watched it, I'd teased the launch for 40 days. So it was 40 until 40. And on 40 days before my 40th birthday, I had a list of 40 things. And then 39 days before my 40th birthday, I had a list of 39 things. It was like 39 things you need to do in your business, or 37 things that I regret in life, or whatever. And so I'm doing this countdown to this launch. And at the end of every post, I say, and in 40 days, I'm gonna launch something that I hope changes the world. So I can't take the page down, basically, is the short version of that. I go to bed and I'm just depressed. I feel like a failure. And I'm like, what have I done? This one person, this one data point is representative of everybody that's looking at this page thinking, gosh, Kasim, I'm such a dummy. I woke up the next day and I was still bummed, and I checked the comments on Facebook, and there was actually some nice things that people were saying at that point, but I was already like in that downward spiral, and it was still pretty early. And then all of a sudden I get this text message from Taki Moore. And I don't know if y'all know who Taki is. If you don't, you absolutely have to follow him. He's one of the brightest entrepreneurs in the world. He's brilliant in ways that are difficult to articulate. He's made more of an impact entrepreneurially than most people know because all of his content gets stolen. I really look up to Taki, suffice it to say. And so Taki messages me and he's like, I think the very first message was, wow. And I'm like, what's happening? Even now, I'm kind of like beaming thinking about it. Just wow. I get a text message from Taki, wow. And I'm like, what's happening? And then he tells me that's the best sales page I've ever read in my life. Effectively, it was more or less what he said. I asked his permission. I screenshotted our text message exchange and I posted it to Facebook. Because random troll, who I hope nobody minds me saying, I went and looked at this guy who said this mean thing to me. I went and looked at his Facebook page. From the outside looking in, I don't know that he's accomplished much of anything. He's a beautiful soul and God loves him, and hopefully he's going to heaven and he has wife and children that adore him. He hadn't done shit as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. That's the forum within which we're operating, right? So here I am putting myself out there. Reminds me of that Teddy Roosevelt quote about the man in the arena. He's probably just having a bad day, but he comes with his comment. And I guess I should have said it was actually a stream of comments. Like he had one negative comment that it was hard to interpret if it was negative or sarcastic. So I replied, and then really negative follow-up. It was funny because it wasn't like a random troll comment either. It was actually like clinical. He was like questioning the validity of the endeavor. And then he blocked me, which is weird too. I went and looked at it was such a stark and necessary reminder that the people we pay attention to, this is a meritocratic system. Not every comment, not every criticism is an equal vote. So who is it that you're listening to? Who are you allowing to influence your psyche and your mind and your thoughts and your approach? When somebody gives you a negative review or constructive criticism or doesn't like what you're doing, I think it's okay to take that seriously because that means you're not a sociopath. So I never want to be in a position where negative comments have no impact on me. I feel like that's its own problem. I'd like to accept it as data weighted appropriately. Hey, Kasim, I think you're doing this wrong. Great. Who are you? What has earned you the right of saying that to me? I've published a sales page and this person is like a guru on sales pages. Wow. Thank you so much for this constructive criticism. Person who actually knows what they're talking about. I'm going to take this very, very seriously. Or I'm just some douchebag on Facebook having a bad day. Maybe I'm not going to listen to you as much. It's weird that I'm still learning this lesson. I don't feel any different than I felt in the 6th grade when I got laughed at. It just reminded me of my mortality and my vulnerability and my insecurities and all those things. And it was important because I was caused to doubt myself by a person that doesn't matter at all. And I almost took down something that somebody that I really truly respect and admire and look up to decided was not just good, but one of the best he's ever seen. Anyway, I hope that wasn't too preachy or personal, but I wanted to share that because it was helpful for me, and I hope it was helpful for you. If it was helpful for you, share this video. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow.